Welcome back, everybody. I'm RB, the Tractor Man. We've been working on our Gibson tractor. Finished a video earlier today, had a little more time, so thought I'd get back into it this evening. A little bit warmer, surprisingly, in the shop than it is in my house. No sense getting heat going there right now. So yeah, so we're here. So a little bit of housework here. I know audio quality has just, I've been fighting audio, guys. I apologize. I've ordered 3 different mics. 2 of them I didn't even open them out of the package. They were just so crappy built, and I've been that route before. I just went ahead and sent them back. So the mic I have now is one I actually bought a while back, and I used it for a couple videos, and I started having issues with it, and I think the audio cable gave out on me. So had a different audio cable, put it on. Voila, it seems like it's working. I've done a couple test run on it, so hopefully it sticks in there. So this evening, what I'd like to do, this blade really doesn't need a whole lot. I've been kind of just holding off on it, but I think what I'd like to do is just hit it with the wire wheel real quick and clean it up, get it primered, set it aside. It can go on the tractor easily. My thought is this, that if I get it on there, I might be able to get the front jack stands off and have it just sit on there to do what we've got to do next. Maybe. So if nothing else, it's next. It won't take very much. We should just do it and get it out of the way. Closer. Progress, right? Progress is what we're after. So yeah, we got that. The next thing is the rear drawbar assembly. I've got to do some disassembly on it in order to put it on the tractor. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. A couple bolts that could come undone so that part of the bracketry has to be installed on top and then the drawbar below. So no other way. I think when I took it off with the rear end, or took off the rear end first, and it slid out the back, if I remember right. Been a while. I think we've been on this project now for 2 years. Anxious to get it back together. I'd really like to have this thing done by the end of the year. It's the middle of November now. We can do it. I know we can do it. We've about got everything. We've ordered some parts. Got one more final part I got to order. Shouldn't be a big deal. So anyways, enough yapping. We'll just get to it here. All right, so I went ahead and hit it with the grinder real quick. The wire brush has kind of got all the weird stuff off of it. It really is not in that bad of shape. What I'm going to do next is use a little acetone just to go over and get all the rust pockets off, or the rust dust. So I just use a rag, acetone. And I just usually just go over it and clean. Yeah, that'll be nice. Good, nice, clean surface. A little bit of dirt, or a little bit of rust. Tilt it up. Just like that. Yeah, so it's kind of important. That way the primer will stick to it. This gets a little bit of, if you have any dirt left on there, gets it knocked off. And it's always amazing how much you'll find. So, like I said, this blade is definitely seen better days, but it was on there when we got the tractor, so we might as well go ahead and put it back on. You know, it's almost looks home built to me. So, yeah. All right, I'm happy with that. Next step is primer. I think we'll go ahead and do the top structure, then I can tilt it down, then we'll do the belly. Okay, and then while we're waiting for that to dry, here are the mounting bolts for it. So I will get those all cleaned up. I can't chase the threads. I don't have a die that big, but I can definitely clean them up a little bit. So we'll get that done and paint those as well. Yep, so for this one, we're rattle canning it. Like I said, this tractor, I just really want to get it fundamentally working, and I want to enjoy it for a couple years. My plan is to take it to the pumpkin patch. I like how low it is, give the kids the experience of being able to sit on a tractor and stuff. So, and then once we figure out the little bugs and stuff, then we'll probably do a really good job on it if it needs it. So, but more than anything, like I said, the challenge from the get-go was friends give me a tractor. They were doing a site cleanup, and this tractor was headed for the scrap pile. Hey, do you want it? So I took it, and then it was if I could find an engine for it, I'd restore it, but I wasn't going to press anything. So, yeah, I've got other projects I really want to do. We're just getting this one put back together, basically. Might as well. So, nothing fancy. Little Rust-Oleum gray primer. Yep, let's go to town. All right, man, I knew once I got started it wouldn't take very long to do this project. So I was able to get that split apart fairly easily. There's the drawbar. I've got one side primered. There's the lift mechanism. Same thing, it's primered. Yeah, and then the blade. So that's about it for today. Gotta let this dry, and I'll probably sneak out in here in a little while and maybe give it one more coat. All right, so welcome back, everybody. This is take 2 of this. I just did an intro video for today, and lo and behold, my new mic was dead. Go figure. See, this is the luck I have. So, yeah, new video. Okay, so what I've done here is I've went ahead, turned the bracket over, got it primered, got the hitch assembly primered. So those are ready. Everything should be ready now to go ahead and put on. So we'll go ahead and get the rear lift assembly on and the front blade on today and see where we're at. Gosh, I'm running out of stuff here. It's another rain day today. Another storm came in last night, and it is wet out there. Ran out to the farm and tried to do some work, but we're just making a mess. So that's on hold. So yeah, good news for us. Gives us more time to work on this. And we're making progress, making great progress. So kind of where I'm at is I'm waiting for parts for the engine, and then we got the back wheels we need to clean up. I got one rim ready to start doing some brushing on, and then I've got the other one, the wheel still, or the tire still needs to be knocked off the rim. So we get a little bit of break in the weather. I may go grab the Kubota, and we'll use the backhoe to do that. That's the easiest way. With that, once this is done, we got those on. Man, I think we're ready to give it a good paint job. I think that's where we're at. So, enough yammer yammer. Let's get busy. All right, we're gonna go micless here for a minute. Yeah, let's go slide this blade underneath. Do some pinning. We have 2 big old bolts. These are what pin it down. So, see how lucky we are here. Front blade is on. As you can see, it's off the ground. Looks like the lift mechanism is working right. Look at that. Still got to work with a monkey rig or monkey right there, but we'll get her. All right, let's work on the back part. All right, so got the front blade on, and it's all working. You can go like this, pull back, down, up, down, up. Okay. All right, and then I got all the back mechanism on. I didn't record putting it on. It was another one of those things. I wasn't sure how it went on. Lots of trial and error, but we did get her. So she works pretty smooth. So she's down and back up. Awesome. Cool. So the one thing that I'm not sure about that I have to figure out is the transmission seems like it's tilted forward too much. The reason I say that is the gap here obviously is smaller at the bottom than it is at the top. I don't think it's just this yoke welded in wrong. I think that it actually is, you know, something's not right there. So I do see how this is tilted forward a little bit here. So I'm going to try to loosen up those bolts and see if I can rock it back at all. I think that'll fix that alignment. I hope so. So that's the only thing I'm seeing. I'm going to go ahead and give that a try. Okay, so I figure we got all this done. I might as well go ahead and sit on the thing. Something I haven't done for a couple years. Look at that. Awesome. I just got the springs put on the clutch assembly. Seems like it's going to work out good. Brake, a little mushy, but we'll get them adjusted. Transmission is working. Steering works. Still got to put a nut right there. Okay, and then back. Look at that. All right, I think that's it. I need to get my tap out and fix the Zerk fittings for the pulley. I think that's next. There's like 3 different Zerk fittings that go in that thing, and the threads are all pretty boogered up. So we'll do that. And then I think we need to do a wipe down on this and hit it again with primer. Yeah, I think that's where we're at. We did get the transmission lined up a little bit better. The way it kind of goes together is kind of weird. It's got flex plating in there. I cut a couple discs out of rubber, which is kind of like what was in there when I got the tractor, but the one I had was just disintegrated. So that'll probably be next, is getting those together. I got to kind of get them lined up there and drill a couple more holes, and then I'll need to run and grab some bolts for those, because I think those are 5/16 bolts, and I think I got quarters. So, all right, well, let me see what we can do here. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, it is pretty doggone cold outside. I took a break here, went in, watched some videos, and I'm having a hard time getting motivated. It feels like it's like the upper 30s maybe out there, but I just checked, it's upper 50s. Don't know why it's so cold. The backside of the storm is, yeah, it's a little chilly. So, anyways, trying to figure out what's next here. I didn't get the bolts. I should get the bolts. Do I want to do that, or do I want to get out the Kubota? What's going to be warmer? I think I'll go ahead and try to get the place in next. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. I'll probably have to run to town, go get some bolts, which is 3 doors down. So, not a big deal. All right, I guess that's what I'll do. Gotta get motivated. All right, guys, so let me explain this to you. So what I did to link the transmission to the rear end, and this is kind of how it was when I bought the tractor, but I took it apart. So there was like basically a piece of rubber, and I don't know if it was rubber or some kind of like asbestos or something. I just remember it was really nasty and kind of fell apart when I separated it, so it got thrown away. So what I did is I took 2 pieces of rubber, some conveyor belt, and it's got the fabric backing or the woven backing. Took 2 pieces of that to kind of build up the difference between the transmission and rear end, and drilled 4 sets of holes through them, and put 2 bolts to the transmission side and 2 bolts to the rear end side. But rather than going straight on through, I rotated them a quarter of a turn. So that way what you got is you got this plate, and they're bolted like that. Okay, so the thought behind that is that that's a wear plate. It's like a Lovejoy connection. Okay, so if something binds up or whatever, it's going to break that ideally before it breaks the rear end or the transmission. And I think that's how it's supposed to be. I don't know. So what I do know is right now we're in neutral. Let's pop it in gear. So as soon as I turn it over, guess what? It's turning over, not binding. Now the rubber is not straight. The rubber kind of curves because whatever side it's drawn to, which is fine. I don't see why that would be an issue. You know, like I said, those are going to be the wear item. And there is a foot cover that goes across here that we still have to make. So that's what I've done. I think that part's done. You know, like I said, I did run to the store and get some bolts. So yeah, one more thing off the list. What's next? Let's see. I guess the next thing is I need to get that wheel or the tire knocked off that rim so we can get those cleaned up, because we're kind of at a point to where we either need to paint or work on wheels. So let me clean up the shop a little bit, make some room, and I guess we'll grab the backhoe and bring it in and see if we can't get that bead popped off that tire. We should be able to. I think I already popped the tube inside of it because it kind of fell inside, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do yet, if I was going to get new tires or try to get a matching tire for the old tire. And I ended up buying new tires. So I don't think we'll destroy it too bad, but let's try to get that off and see what happens. All right, and there you have it. Little backhoe saves the day again. 2 things working against me on this one. First thing is I popped the tube. It was slipped inside there, so the valve stem, I was able to get it to come around enough just to get the valve stem out, but the valve stem was in 2 pieces, so half the core was still inside. So fighting that, and then there's water in the tube, so it still had quite a bit of pressure in there. Obviously the tire's junk. I needed to break it off the bead. I think next thing is I'm going to go ahead and pull out the Sawzall and go ahead and cut it up. I don't think I can get it to pop over the rim, and it's really not worth all the effort to do so because obviously it's broken. So Yeah, love my little backhoe. I've used it quite a few times to do that. We'll need it definitely for the other tractors and stuff. So, yeah. Okay, I think I'm going to go ahead and cut this thing off, and hopefully it comes in one piece, or comes relatively easy. How about that? Okay, so the good news is I got her cut in half. So this is the trick with old rotten tires that you don't want to sit and fight forever. Sawzall, start in the middle of the tread, cut out one side, cut out the other side. Once that's there, you should be able to get the bar and pop it up enough to just break the bead, because there's usually cables and stuff in there. So yeah, went fairly well. Okay, so we got her cut all the way through. Other good thing, my slab is sloped out the door for the most part, so that's where all the water is going. I'll probably grab the chop broom here in just a second and help it along. Don't need the bar no more. Should be able to just clamshell this thing off of there. Oh yeah, wonderful tube. All right, rim is out. Rim's got a little bit of rust on it. Not a end of the world. We'll get her cleaned up. Garbage. Open the door, and I'm going to push this water out. Let's throw this trash out here. Broom, 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 broom. Yeah, let's use that one. We'll get our shop heater hooked back up here in just a sec. I think I ran out of propane on it, so we can grab the tank off the barbecue. One way to clean the floor. Okay, that'll work. All right, well, that rim's out. It's going to definitely need a lot more work than this other one, but it's all right. We got him now. So that'll probably be the next step, is cleaning up the rims, get them painted up. These ones have to be painted before we can put the rubber on. And then that'll make it so, gosh, by that time we'll be ready to paint these. We'll be ready to paint the tractor. I think that's where we're at, guys. We got a little bit of sheet metal work to do, but I need to work on that a little bit to prep up. So I think that's where we'll go ahead and end it for now. What's next? Next, we'll probably come back, maybe do just an episode on the wheels or the engine. I do have parts en route, so I got confirmation today. I think the first part will be here Wednesday, Thursday, something like that, a couple days. So, all right. So that'll be it for this episode. We are making progress on this machine. Not very much left to go on it. I say that, but there's a lot of little tinkering that's going to be going on. So hope you like this kind of content. Hopefully the mic worked a lot better for you guys today. I apologize for that. Like I said, I've had a lot of trouble with mics. So we don't really discover it until you go to the editing mode. All right, till next time.